Episode 1 begins with the introduction of the concept in a lively setting where 5 popular YouTubers are gathered together with one professional lawyer. The stage is designed like a reality competition, blending humor with suspense. The rule of the game is simple: someone among them has been arrested, and the lawyer must use wit, logic, and interrogation to figure out who it is. The YouTubers are known for being quick-witted, creative, and playful, so they instantly start teasing each other, throwing around jokes, and giving half-truths that blur the line between fact and fiction. The lawyer, calm and methodical, sets the tone by asking straightforward questions meant to trap someone into a contradiction. Each YouTuber has a story prepared, but the more they talk, the more gaps begin to appear. One claims he was at home editing all day, another says she was hanging out with friends, and someone else insists they were traveling. The lawyer listens carefully, looking for body language and inconsistencies. The YouTubers, however, are skilled at improvising and often twist the lawyer's words back at him, creating moments of laughter and tension at the same time. As the first round continues, the audience gets a chance to play along, trying to spot who looks the most suspicious. Some YouTubers deliberately act nervous to throw off suspicion, while others stay too calm, which ironically makes them look even guiltier. The lawyer uses his training to keep track of every tiny detail, noting down times, locations, and behaviors. He presses one YouTuber on the exact time they claim to have left their house, and when their answer changes slightly, the group erupts in shouts and laughter, accusing him of lying. But the game is not so simple, and the lawyer cannot rely on just one slip. Toward the end of episode 1, the tension rises. Everyone has spoken once, but the lawyer is still unsure. The cliffhanger leaves the audience asking the same question: who is hiding the truth? The YouTubers exchange playful insults while trying to look innocent, and the lawyer prepares to dig deeper in the next round. Episode 2 opens with renewed energy, as the lawyer takes a sharper approach. This time he directly calls out inconsistencies, hoping to rattle the suspects. He asks one YouTuber why their timeline does not match up with what another claimed earlier, catching them slightly off guard. The YouTubers, however, enjoy the challenge and start turning the heat back on him, accusing him of being biased or focusing on the wrong details. This creates a hilarious back and forth where the lawyer insists on keeping order, but the group keeps derailing the conversation with inside jokes and clever deflections. The audience gets pulled deeper into the mystery, as moments of comedy mix with serious detective work. Midway through the second episode, the lawyer starts narrowing down his suspects. He accuses 2 YouTubers of being the most likely culprits, pointing out contradictions in their alibis. The accused fight back with dramatic performances, pleading their innocence while the rest cheer, laugh, and stir the drama even more. One of them even mocks a courtroom scene, pretending to testify under oath, which brings more humor to the table. Despite the chaos, the lawyer regains control and emphasizes logic, showing that one suspect's story doesn't make sense in the bigger picture. The YouTubers start sweating, but some of it is intentional, designed to confuse him. As the episode builds toward the conclusion, the lawyer finally makes his decision, convinced he has spotted the arrested YouTuber. The dramatic reveal, however, flips expectations. Whether he is right or wrong, the reveal brings a mix of shock and laughter from the group. The YouTubers clap, tease him about his strategy, and celebrate the fun of the game. The audience is left hooked, ready for the next round, with the thrilling mix of comedy, suspicion, and detective work making the series feel both entertaining and unpredictable. Episode 3 starts with the energy already high from the previous reveal. The lawyer, determined to redeem himself and sharpen his approach, takes the center seat once again, but the YouTubers come in ready to play mind games. They know exactly how to toy with him, and the moment he begins questioning, they start whispering among themselves, giggling, and throwing suspicious glances at each other to raise paranoia. The lawyer, however, is more focused this time. He begins by isolating each person's account of the supposed arrest night and goes deeper into detail. Instead of just asking, "Where were you?" he asks about specific times, who they were with, and what they were doing at those times. This makes it harder for the YouTubers to keep their stories consistent. One of them, while trying to sound confident, slips up by mixing dates, and the group immediately pounces, pointing and laughing, accusing him of being the arrested one. The lawyer picks up on this and presses harder, asking for clarification. The YouTuber nervously laughs it off, insisting it was just a mistake, but the lawyer doesn't let go. This moment creates tension because the audience begins suspecting him as well. Meanwhile, Another YouTuber deliberately draws attention to themselves by acting overly defensive, hoping to confuse the lawyer's sense of direction. The game becomes as much about strategy as it is about bluffing. Every move feels calculated, with the lawyer's sharp questions crashing into the YouTuber's clever improvisations. Midway through episode 3, the lawyer tries to trap two players by asking them the same questions separately and then comparing their answers. To the audience's delight, their answers don't match perfectly, and it sparks another wave of suspicion. The lawyer feels closer to his target, but the YouTubers thrive on chaos and start questioning each other, staging fake arguments to throw him off. One pretends to be offended, storming away dramatically, only to return seconds later with a smirk, which makes everyone laugh, including the lawyer, though he quickly regains focus. By the end, he makes his choice once again, naming who he believes is guilty. The reveal is shocking, and the reactions are loud, either because he was correct and caught someone against all odds, or because the YouTubers outsmarted him again, making the lawyer look like the one under pressure. The episode ends on a suspenseful note, with the lawyer shaking his head in disbelief and the YouTubers celebrating their ability to keep the game unpredictable. Episode 4 raises the stakes further. The lawyer comes in visibly more serious, knowing he can't afford to keep missing. The YouTubers, on the other hand, are more mischievous than ever, sensing that the tension is working in their favor. They begin by immediately cracking jokes, pretending to confess, before laughing it off, which frustrates and amuses the lawyer at the same time. This episode emphasizes psychological warfare. The lawyer stops asking broad questions and instead starts setting traps by pretending to believe certain stories, then suddenly pointing out contradictions later. This tactic makes a couple of YouTubers slip up without realizing it. The audience gets more engaged as they see the lawyer slowly piecing together inconsistencies like a puzzle. At the same time, the YouTubers refuse to let him take full control. They gang up against him, throwing multiple alibis and fake narratives at once, forcing him to choose which threads to follow. 1. YouTuber pretends to be incredibly detailed, listing times and locations down to the minute, but the overconfidence makes it suspicious. Another tries to play innocent by staying quieter than usual, which ironically puts the spotlight on them. The lawyer notices this pattern and starts focusing on the quiet one, pushing for more details. As the episode moves toward the reveal, the atmosphere feels more intense than ever. The lawyer presents his reasoning step by step, like a closing statement in court, explaining why one YouTuber's story cannot hold up. The accused defends themselves passionately, while the others cheer, laugh, and add fuel to the fire. The tension peaks in the final reveal, where the truth comes out with explosive reactions. The lawyer's confidence is either rewarded with a correct guess or shattered once again by the YouTuber's brilliant deception. Either way, the end of episode 4 leaves the audience excited for what comes next, because the balance of power between the lawyer and the YouTubers has become the true heart of the game. Episode 5 begins with an atmosphere of playful chaos, as the YouTubers enter the room already buzzing with energy, hyped from the previous rounds. The lawyer, now visibly more determined than before, is greeted with smirks and sarcastic claps from the group. Everyone can feel the pressure, he has to prove himself, and they are eager to break his confidence. The lawyer starts off strong, refusing to be distracted by their banter. He sets the tone by telling the YouTubers that he has been studying their patterns and is prepared to expose the guilty party. This declaration both excites and intimidates the group, who instantly jump into role-playing, pretending to act like hardened criminals or innocent victims. The lawyer chooses a direct strategy this time. He asks about very small details, things like what clothes they claim to have worn, who texted them first that night, or what they ate for dinner. These questions catch the YouTubers off guard, because it is easy to lie about big events but harder to keep track of tiny details. One YouTuber answers confidently but forgets what they said in an earlier round, and the lawyer immediately points it out. The group bursts into laughter, and the accused insists it was a simple mistake. Still, the lawyer presses harder, sensing cracks. As the game goes on, the YouTubers adopt new tactics. One tries to be overly helpful, volunteering information without being asked, which raises suspicions. Another keeps joking around to mask their nerves. The lawyer reads their body language carefully, noticing when someone avoids eye contact or laughs too quickly. The YouTubers, however, don't make it easy for him. They start teaming up, staging mini-dramas, and accusing each other so convincingly that even the audience begins to doubt. Halfway through, the tension peaks when the lawyer identifies two potential suspects and corners them with rapid-fire questions. Both deny fiercely, creating a dramatic back and forth that feels like a courtroom showdown. The group cheers, shouts, and interrupts, fueling the energy while the lawyer fights to maintain control. His voice grows sharper, his arguments more detailed, as he builds his case against one player. At the end, he makes his final accusation with confidence. The reveal brings chaos. If he is right, he redeems his earlier mistakes, but if he is wrong, the YouTubers explode with laughter at his expense. Either way, Episode 5 ends with wild reactions, setting the stage for an even more heated finale. Episode 6 begins with anticipation in the air, as this is the deciding round that will cement the lawyer's reputation. The YouTubers know this and take full advantage, turning the pressure into entertainment. They begin taunting him before the game even starts, joking that he has no chance of figuring them out. The lawyer, unfazed, declares that he has learned from every round and will not be fooled this time. He uses a new approach. Instead of questioning them individually, he interrogates them in pairs, forcing their stories to overlap. This tactic quickly creates contradictions, as two YouTubers accidentally give slightly different accounts of the same event. The group erupts into noise, some defending, some accusing, while the lawyer calmly takes notes and points out every slip. He uses silence as a weapon too, letting awkward pauses make the YouTubers squirm. One of them starts fidgeting, drawing more attention. Another keeps trying to deflect with humor, but the lawyer doesn't laugh, he keeps pressing. The dynamic feels more intense than ever, almost like a real trial, with the lawyer refusing to let go once he spots weakness. As the round continues, the YouTubers step up their acting. One pretends to cry dramatically, insisting they are innocent, while the others put on mock serious faces, nodding as if they were judges. The lawyer doesn't break character, he counters with sharp logic, reminding everyone of inconsistencies and poking holes in alibis. The tension builds until he narrows it down to a single suspect. In the final moments, the lawyer makes his boldest accusation yet. He delivers his reasoning step by step, like a final courtroom speech, and declares who he believes was arrested. The reveal explodes into chaos, gasps, laughter, shouting, and disbelief flood the room. If he is correct, the lawyer finally proves his skill and earns respect. If wrong, the YouTubers celebrate their ultimate victory, mocking him one last time. Either way, the finale leaves the audience satisfied, having witnessed a thrilling mix of comedy, strategy, and psychological games. The balance of tension and laughter makes Episode 6 a fitting climax to the series, leaving fans eager for whatever comes next.